So let me start with amines today. So you could see amines can be categorized as 4 different functional groups. One is primary amines, secondary amines, tertiary amines, and quaternary ammonium salts. All of these are functional isomers of each other, correct? So, I mean, these 4 are categorized as different functions altogether. If you see IUPAC wise, I'm sure you must have recalled that first we will count the carbons and then we will give the suffix as amine. So that will be methanamine. If we have 2 of them, then one of these chain would be taken as the main chain and the other part will be taken as the substitute. So N-methyl methanamine. So here you can see here there is CH3, C2H5 and here there is propane. So always look out for the longest chain. So we will get N-methyl and N-ethyl also, correct? So we can write this as N-methyl and 2-methyl, N-2 dimethyl, and at the N position we have ethyl. So propanamine. So this is one way of writing. And aniline is also known as benzene amine, okay, or aminobenzene. Either ways you can put it. But the common name and IUPAC name both are accepted as aniline. And then you can see O-toluidine. O-toluidine is a common name which we use it for 2-methyl aniline. So here we can say it is at the second position or ortho position. So it is 2-methyl aniline. If you have 2 NH2 groups on benzene, we can write it as benzene 1,2-diamine or O-phenylene diamine. So we can write this as O-phenylene diamine. And in case if you have CH2 NH2, so we can write it as benzyl amine, which is a common name, or we can write it as phenyl methyl amine. So here you can see this is methyl amine on which there is a phenyl substitution. So it is phenyl methyl amine. Now, in case if you have
slightly late, have I missed anything important?
Say it again.
So I joined just right now. Have I missed anything important?
No. Just I have started IUPAC of amines. That's it. Look at if we have benzene related another amines here. So we can write N has methyl, and at the second position also I have methyl. So N comma N and trimethyl aniline. You can write it as aniline. These are few common names which are accepted as IUPAC names as well. I mean, it's better to remember the names for these compounds. First one, aziridine. So it is like a cyclopropane group with nitrogen as one end. So that will be aziridine. If you have, cyclobutane and one position is occupied by nitrogen, then that is azitidine. If it is cyclopentane, then it is pyrrolidine. So it is called as pyrrolidine. And if it is 6, then it is piperidine. So these two are more useful for us. So I would suggest you better remember what is, pyrrolidine and piperidine. And in pyrrolidine, see, you can see in pyrrolidine, if you make it as a double bond and make it aromatic, then it will become pyrrole. And in piperidine, if you make it as a double bonds and make it aromatic, then it will become pyridine. So this is pyrrole and this form is pyridine. Next, in the same pyridine form, if another place is also occupied by nitrogen, then that is imidazole. And this is also very, very important. When we learn biomolecules, we'll be using this a lot, so learn it, imidazole. And this is, this is mainly found in spices, okay, DAPCO. So, which is a cyclic form of this, 6-membered ring. So same thing, like how we have piperidine. In that piperidine, if 2 sides there are nitrogen and there are, one cyclic form here, then that is diazobicyclooctane, and industrially it is known as DAPCO. Okay, that is DAPCO or diazobicyclooctane. And if you have a benzene connected with a pyrrole, then that is quinoline. Benzene connected with pyrrole is quinoline. And in case uh, you know, I've written it wrong. Quinaclodine. In case if you have cyclic form, like where you have pyridine kind, but then we have a bicyclo form, then that is called as quinaclodine. That is termed as quinaclodine. So no, try to learn these terms, especially pyrrolidine, piperidine, imidazole, and quinoline. So these are the important ones which we will be using even in biomolecules and other chapters. Now, coming to this type of questions which are asked here could be one, find or figure out the number of amines with molecular formula C4, H11, and N. Okay, so we need to find out molecular, I mean, how many isomeric amines we can find with this molecular formula C4, H11, N. So for such kind of questions, look out for how many number of groups, straight chains you can put it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, NH2. So we'll get this primary amine. I can place primary amine with the changed positions here this way, or I can change it as isobutyl amine this way. So these are the three forms of I mean, as a primary amine case. Sorry, in fact, I can have one more case, tert butyl type of a case with NH2. So these are the four primary amine cases. So first write the primary amine cases and then write the secondary amine cases. So I can have two methyls on one side. I can have three methyls on one side and one methyl on the other side, right? So these two. I can make it as isopropyl with one methyl on this side. So these are the ways I can write it as secondary amines. And I can put tertiary amine as one of the cases like this. These are the tertiary amines here. So if nothing is mentioned, take the stereoisomers as well. So you can see there is no chiral center here. This is a chiral center, correct? So since this is a chiral center, we can expect there are two compounds here. This is only one compound here. And this is also no compound here. This is a chiral center, but nitrogen will always have umbrella inversion, if you recall, right? From GOC, if you remember, I told you that even if nitrogen has a chiral center, and if it's an open chain, the groups will keep flapping above and below. So
Yes,
this
sir.
we can't say like it has any stereoisomers. So we will count it as only one. And same is the reason for this one also. We'll count it as only one. Okay. This one does not have any chiral center as such. So total number of isomers for these kind of cases, you just be careful and count it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So total 9 isomeric amines are formed. Here, everybody. On a similar lines, you could be asked like find out the number of benzenoids. Got it? With these kinds C7, H9. So ऐसे questions आ सकते हैं because ये सब आ चुके हैं पहले. So figure out how many number of benzenoid forms with a molecular formula C7H9N. Okay. So again, you start with writing the aniline form. So first we can write aniline. So C6 तो यहाँ पर खत्म हो चुके हैं. So I can have one CH3 here at ortho position, and I can have it at para position, meta position, and one at para position, one at para position. These three. Other than this, I can also have, phenyl methyl amine. So this is phenyl methyl amine, and I can have N methyl also. So I can put this as this with N methyl group. So these are the 5 various combinations I can get. That's it. So these are the total number of isomers we can get. Total 5 of them. And beta. So I hope all of you got an idea.
Yes, sir.
So just revise this. This is one area in amines you should learn, that how to find out number of stereoisomers, number of total number of isomers. Yeah. Now coming to the preparation of amines, we'll start off with simple reactions which are relatively repetitive. So for example, if you have alkyl halide, if you react that with KNH2, correct? See, KNH2 is a very strong base, so it would usually prefer to go E2 mechanism, yeah, unless it is at the primary position and least crowding. So when you have least crowding, it has an ability, right? So one second. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So usually amines, sodamides or potashamides is a very strong base. It would go for E2 mechanisms. But if it is at a least crowding at a primary position, it can go via SN2 mechanism and give a substituted product. So that is one way we can get it. Otherwise, if it is even a bit of uh, alpha position or a beta hydrogen present, we can expect that to give E2 product as an alkene. So this is first method of preparation. Next preparation comes from acids. If you take carboxylic acids and treat that with HN3, this is hydrozoic acid. In hydrozoic acid, we'll take this OH and H to get dehydrated, and N3 would join here, right? So if you recall how it is connected, yeah, it is like this: RC double bond O, yeah, with N triple bond N with plus and minus. This is how it is connected. Now, this is a very typical arrangement. If you recall, we have done this before as a Wolff rearrangement. So R will undergo rearrangement here. This double bond will form and N2 will make a leaving group. So this is a typical rearrangement step. So we will have this as R and double bond C, double bond O, which we call it as isocyanate. Yeah. And isocyanates on hydrolysis will always give us this part will hydrolyze to form amines. Yeah. So this is something which we have learned it earlier. Yeah. This is also known as Schmidt's reaction. This is Schmidt's reaction for making amines. It is also termed as a step down reaction. Yeah. Because one of the carbon is reduced here and R is connected with nitrogen to make that ammonia form. Correct. Now, this is the HBD reaction, Hoffman bromamide degradation, which goes in a similar lines of what this earlier we have seen this mechanism as well, where we will have an intermediate forming like this, RC double bond O with N minus and Br. And Br here is a leaving group and it would form an isocyanate this way. And that isocyanate on hydrolysis will again give RNH2. So this is also a step down reaction, one carbon less. And you can see acid reacting to give this amines in both the cases. Clear? Right. Next, follow ammonolysis. Ammonolysis is one of the typical reaction. We have seen it earlier in alkyl halides also, where we take an alkyl halide, yeah, and keep reacting with ammonia as per the requirement of type of amines. So if you treat with amines, it would usually, amine is a strong nucleophile, so it will attack and relieve chlorine simultaneously to make an SN2 through an SN2 mechanism. We'll get primary amines. And if you keep on doing that, it would create secondary amines also, it will give tertiary amines also, and finally it can take up to quaternary amines also. Okay, there could be some alkene formation also when it is at the tertiary position, but nevertheless in all the cases you will always see you will have a mixture of 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree and quaternary ammonium salts. Now it all depends upon which one do you want major. So if you want ammonium salt as major, then take alkyl halide as excess. And if you want 1 degree as major, then you take ammonia as excess. Okay. Again, this is a simple objective type question, JEE objective type question asked, in JEE mains. So learn it. So on which excess part, what will be the major part? What will be the major product? Clear? So I hope all of you got that, right? That is ammonolysis. Next, usually we do reduction reactions to get amines as well. First of that is nitro reductions. So any form of nitro group, NO2, with certain reagents will always give us amines. Typically, what are those reagents? You can see lithium aluminum hydride, okay, H2 by PT, H2 by PD, tin in HCl, zinc in HCl, iron in HCl, okay. Or even if you take SnCl2 in concentrated HCl or ZnCl2 in concentrated HCl, all of them are a source of nascent hydrogens, except these two. I mean, these three, first three, but others, acids, wherever we are using acids, they are all source of nascent hydrogens and they will reduce the respective nitro group into amines. Okay. Now the challenge comes when it is a nitrobenzene. In case of nitrobenzene, the products are slightly different depending upon the reagent used. Correct. So these reagents are typically asked for JEE Advanced. So learn this for JEE Advanced, like what type of reagents are used and what is the product form. First, look at the zinc kind. Zinc, if you take in HCl, it will provide a large amount of nascent hydrogens. Hence, all the oxides here will be reduced into hydride forms. So NH2 will form. If you take zinc in ammonium chloride, that is a neutral solution. Okay? In neutral solution, the amount of H plus nascent hydrogens produced are relatively less. So you will have hydroxyaniline here. So you can see OH will form with this aniline group. So OH with this aniline form is the major product and the final product in this case. The same zinc, if you add it with NaOH in basic medium, you will see both of these rings will get coupled. So we will have 2 moles of it and they will get coupled here, which we call it as hydroazobenzene. So the product what we are getting it hydroazobenzene form. So I hope you guys understood that. This is with zinc. Okay. So you can see zinc can act like a strong reducing agent. It will reduce NO2 to NH2. Neutral, it is slightly moderate. Okay. And basic also it is strong, but it would take a form of more amines. Okay. Next, if the reagent is H2 and all of this we have learned it already, it gives NH2. But if it is with lithium aluminum hydride, in case if it is lithium aluminum hydride, it would form azobenzene. So it won't give aniline, but it would give azobenzene. This is a typical confusion. So learn it that lithium aluminum hydride with nitrobenzene does not give aniline. Instead, it will give azobenzene. That is the final product you will get. So in case if you use excess amount of lithium aluminum hydride, then this double bond also will get reduced to form NH and NH. But typically this is not what you're supposed to write as final product, because it's not usually mentioned that put it excess. Usually the product you should always write it azobenzene only. In case if you have sodium arsenate, correct, Na3ASO3, in case of sodium arsenate, in HCl, sorry, in NaOH here, in that case also you will have azoxybenzene. So in this case it is azoxybenzene, that is it is azobenzene with an oxygen present on one of the nitrogen, so it will become azoxybenzene. Okay, so ये थोड़ा सा रटना पड़ेगा आपको. So there is no mechanisms that are important here. You just need to know what product you would get in what case. Okay, so all these typical reagents will give aniline. Zinc, all three forms are important: acidic, basic, and neutral medium. Lithium aluminum hydride is important, and Na3 ASO3 in basic medium. So all of this would give you different products. Clear? Now, in case if there are two nitro groups are present, okay, at meta position to each other, only one of them will be selectively reduced by S2 minus. So S2 minus can come in many forms, beta. Na2S in water, ammonium sulfide, ammonium hydrogen sulfide, Na2S2 in water, and ammonium sulfide. Okay, so all of these forms, in any form of the sulfide, if you treat this dinitrobenzene groups, right, or metanitrobenzene groups, then this form will reduce only one of the nitrogen. Again, there is no clear mechanism for it, but the major product is always found to get this, and the other sulfur will get reduced as a colloidal sulfur. Correct? So this is the form which you will get. Okay. If there is a meta position, it will give this selective reduction always. Correct? Now, in case if there is meta position is slightly changed, or maybe one methyl group is present somewhere, close to it. I'll just show you that. Write it down. ऐसा है, NO2 group है, correct? And we have NO2 group here, and then methyl is present here, this way, correct? So in such case, the para position of this with respect to this methyl will be seen to undergo reduction. NH2, NO2, and CH3 would remain. So this will become the major product. Okay, clear, beta? And there is no clear mechanism for how it happens in ortho positions, how it happens in para. It has been observed that the yield is very, very poor if NO2 and NO2 are ortho to each other, or NO2 and NO2 are para to each other. If they are this, very poor yield, hence you would not be asked for the reaction. So if even asked, you say there is no reaction here. Clear? Only at meta positions where nitros are there, then you will see one of the nitrogen gets reduced. Clear on this? ये काफी important हो जाता है. Selective reduction happens during lot of conversion reactions, right? A, B, C, D giving, ये कहीं ना कहीं आपको reduction करते हुए मिलेगा. So just be aware of that. Now, these are all previous year questions. How they have been asked? Let us just go through it once. कैसे पूछा गया था. So first, there was compound A, which was giving compound B. Yeah. And after the reaction here, we are getting compound C. This is a typical style of asking questions. So nitro, when you treat with H2 and nickel, what we can expect is that it will undergo reduction, right? And then if you treat that with CH3I, excess methyl iodide, so it will undergo methylation. So typically, you know how the methylation happen. So we have 4 methyls getting connected. This is ammonolysis. Via ammonolysis, we will get ammonium salts. And ammonium salts, when you use it in a strong basic medium, it will undergo elimination. So it can eliminate either this beta position from this beta position. You know that NMe thrice is a relatively weaker leaving group, so it will generate the delta negative characteristic on both of them, which we call it as Hoffman, exhaustive elimination, right? So therefore, ETO minus, correct, will extract the proton from here, which eventually give us double bond by removing this group. So this is the final product which is expected. Clear, everybody? That will be the product C. I hope all of you are able to recall this. Okay. देखो बेटा, amines हमेशा typically इसी के साथ जोड़ा जाता है. Most of the questions C2H5Br was taken, alkyl halide was taken, and we are treating with AgNO2. Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So C2H5Br, if you treat with AgNO2, we know that it will give nitro group here, right? So we will have first C2H5NO2. And that when you do lithium aluminum hydride, अच्छा straight chain में तो ये amines बन जाएगा. So we will get this as C2H5 and NH2. And exhaustive methylation, we will have C2H5 with nitrogen and 3 methyl groups. This is the next thing which is formed. Okay. And after that, we are doing, we are treating with a strong base. So it will definitely go for elimination. So here there is these three sides, there is no beta hydrogen. Only this side there is beta hydrogen. So what is the product we can expect? So we can get this as CH2, double bond CH2 plus nitrogen with these 3 methyl groups. So this is the final product we can expect. After exhaustive methylation, this is the elimination we can expect. Okay, beta. See the next question. Nitro is being treated with, FeHCl. We got compound P, and after reacting with acyl chloride, we got compound Q. So we can easily expect that if it is reduction, we'll get NH2 here, correct? CH3COCl, we have discussed this earlier, that nitrogen's lone pair is still available, for making more like an acid-base reaction here. Correct, Atharv, right? So we can get this as NHC double bond O Cl. Don't expect that there is an EAS reaction here. So all we will get here is acetanilide. Acetanilide. Correct. So that is a product formation. Next.
सर ये वाला वापस बता सकते हो?
देखो बेटा, एनिलीन आया यहाँ पर. एनिलीन आने के बाद हम लोग दो चीजें एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं. CH3C double bond O Cl in pyridine. ठीक है? This is what we are doing. Correct. So in pyridine, what we can expect here, that this compound will dissociate as CH3 C double bond O plus, like this, plus Cl minus, correct? And we usually take it in aqueous medium here, aqueous medium here. So pyridine would take up that H plus and make it pyridinium, like this, H pyridinium, and forms chloride, just like salt hydrolysis. So we can expect this to be present, in the solution, or even if it is not there, if water is not there, so directly the lone pair present on ammonia will attack here, makes it an SNTD type of mechanism. This will go via SNTD mechanism. We'll have CH3, CO minus, Cl. Let me write the Cl side here with NH and this group. Okay? Here. And this minus will again close at double bond, and this is a leaving group, so it will leave with H plus, correct? क्योंकि यहाँ से मैंने H plus हटा दिया है, so you can see, so HCl will come out of it, and वही HCl को pyridine will make a pyridinium salt. ठीक है? हाँ, ये dissociation बहुत weak होगा. That's why the availability of the positively charged acetyl group will be less. So this SNTD mechanism is more favorable to get this mechanism, to get this final product, acetyl. They clear, beta?
हाँ sir.
SNTD. SNTD means substitution reaction via formation of intermediate of tetrahedral. Okay. Any nucleophilic additions happening via elimination, addition, elimination when they happen, right? Nucleophilic addition, elimination reaction happening on the acyl groups are called SNTD mechanisms. ठीक है बेटा, it will form via tetrahedral formation. You can see this is sp2 hybridized, this is sp2 hybridized, this is sp3 hybridized. So it is forming a tetrahedral form. ठीक है. So typically this is asked. Next, ये भी आ चुका है जेई में. NO2 NO2 are at the para positions. Ammonium sulfide is given. Find R first. So what we will do, we will reduce one of the nitro groups this way, and then again we react this group with CH3 C double bond O Cl. So what typically we can expect here कि ये reduction हो रहा है. After that we just learned the reaction already कि जहां पर reduce हुआ है वहां पर acetanilide बन जाएगा. C double bond O CH3 with NO2 group here. Done. See this case now. NO2 on reaction with lithium aluminum hydride. So I told you that this is the exception cases where we have azobenzene forming. So double bond N with this two benzene groups here. So this is the azobenzene form. And after that we have making a catalytic hydrogenation. So on doing catalytic hydrogenation, DD will come here and that will give you a cis type of a addition. Well, here once it is going syn type of an addition, once you add D here, it does not matter because you're getting a single bond on both sides. So this is the product you will get. This is the product B. Then see the next question. If you have nitro treated with SnHCl, that will also give you NH2. And that if you treat with NaNO2 and HCl, ये तो बहुत ही typical journey वाला question आता है कि पहले कुछ भी करके amine बना दो and after that you do diazotization. So you are familiar with it. So first we will get N2 plus and Cl minus. This is diazonium salt, correct? And we know that diazonium salt का जो major product होता है, because it is in a aqueous solution, will always be substituted alcohol. So this is the major product. So बाकी सारे product को neglect करना, reaction यहाँ से start करना, आगे का reaction, ठीक है? So we got an alcohol, and in concentrated H2SO4, we always expect that elimination will favor here, dehydration will favor. So the product, the final product, what you are expected to find in the exam would be propane. Here, everybody. This is via diazotization. Seventh, see if you take nitrobenzene with neutral medium. Neutral medium में हमने देखा कि there is hydroxyaniline which is forming. So NH with OH formation first, and then Tollens reagent. Correct. See, Tollens reagent will always oxidize oxime groups, any form of oxime or hydroxy groups, and that will make it as N double bond O plus silver. Silver will get accumulated on the side walls of the test tube, which we call it as mirror test or silver mirror test. Correct. So this is again expected that hydroxy groups are there, how it will react. Okay, beta. So how can you get amines using other compounds like, you know, alkyl nitriles? So if you take alkyl nitriles, most of the, nitriles can be reduced easily with lithium aluminum hydride. So we will get this as R, CH2, NH2. Okay, this can be expected. And right. Okay, this was some other reaction. Actually, I kept it here. So you can see conversion reaction, typically how it is asked. Propene with HCl, we can get addition. With KCN, you will get cyanide. And with lithium aluminum hydride, what do we expect? We can get this, you know, aniline. Sorry, you will get this as amine. Disonium chloride, we will get this as alcohol. And dehydration, we'll get isobutylene. So typically from propene to isobutylene, how is the conversion to be done? So in NCERT, it was asked how to make propene to isobutylene. So typically, this is the conversion method which we'll adopt. NaBH4 is not a good reducing agent for reducing cyanides. So same logic applies to isocyanates also. It's not good for isocyanates. Only lithium aluminum hydride will give reduction. And H2 by PT can be used for reduction. Sodium in ethanol can be used, which we call it as Bovolt blank reduction, right? Usually we do it for aldehydes and ketones and esters. But a part of that, sodium and ethanol can also be used for reduction of nitriles. Then reduction of amides. Amides can also be reduced using lithium aluminum hydride. Now see the case here. If you have aniline, aniline can be, if you have nitriles, that can be reduced by H2 by PT. But if they are in the form of amides, then H2 by PT cannot reduce it. Neither NaBH4 is anyway not going to reduce, correct? So ये ध्यान रखना, H2 by PT reduces only. अच्छा, acid derivatives क्या क्या होते हैं, एक बार quickly recall करते हैं. Acid derivatives are cyanides, amides, acid chlorides, anhydrides, and esters, है ना? Out of all these five, ना बेटा, if you treat with H2 by nickel, H2 by palladium, H2 by platinum, एक cyanides reduce होंगे और एक acid chlorides reduce होंगे. Okay, acid chlorides will convert to alcohols and cyanides will convert to amines. Only these two are reactive, rest three are not reactive. Got it? So say this. Next one, any acid chloride, or if you take it acid, chloride, amines, or N3, any of these forms. One second. Look to N3. All of these are name reactions. The last topic we have. Yeah, look at this now. So in case if we take N3, we used to call it as Schmidt reaction, acid chloride, and then treat with NaN, that is Lawson's reaction, right? उसके बाद हमने देखा कर्टियस रिएक्शन, राइट? यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली N3 को रिएक्ट जाता है. HBD reaction. In HBD reaction, what we do, we'll have amine first, RC double bond or NH2 formation. उसको हम लोग Br2 के साथ react करते हैं. In all of these reactions, we know that we get an intermediate isocyanate, which on hydrolysis will give amines, right? So these are all from acid derivatives. This is the most important reaction of this topic. Once again, I don't know why an issue happened. One second. Yeah. See, Gabriel thalamide synthesis starts with, making a thalamide. Thalamide. अच्छा, thalamide भी कहाँ से बनाते हैं? इसको मैं ऊपर दिखा देता हूँ. So we need to take phthalic acid first. So we'll take phthalic acid, COOH and COOH, and then we treat that with 2 moles of ammonia. Okay. देखो बेटा, acid ammonia, whenever you add it, right, the first thing it will happen is an acid base reaction. So it will be like COO minus NH4 plus. This is the first step. This will happen in 2 steps. Usually यहाँ पर directly step नहीं दिया जाता है, बाद में heat दिया जाता है. So when it is being provided heat, then ammonia would release from this case C double bond O NH2, and here also it will become C double bond O NH2, which on further heating releases ammonia also, and that's how we'll get thalamide. So double bond O and NH. So here we see ammonia released. Rest of the case here there is water and water released in both the cases. So that's how we will get thalamide. Okay. So our journey starts from the thalamide as the reactant. So once you have a thalamide here, so how this thalamide undergoes reaction is what we need to learn. See, Gabriel thalamide here, when you treat with KOH, because it is a basic solution, it will take H plus and makes N minus here. देखो बेटा, cyclic amides are relatively neutral or slightly acidic, because इनका आप pK value देखोगे, so that will wave around from 28 onwards 32, which is not very bad in terms of acidic character, isn't it? So it would act slightly acidic. So OH minus will remove this H plus and we'll get N minus. And this N minus as a nucleophile can attack on RX, any alkyl halide, via SN2 mechanism, as long as this R is 1 degree or 2 degree or methyl, and then we'll get NR substitution, or the R alkyl, that is N alkyl thalamide substitution. And N alkyl thalamide, if you make a basic reduction here, I mean basic hydrolysis here, so this entire part will again become acid, that is CO minus, and this part will come out as RNH2. So you could see whatever the desired amines which we need, we can get that easily. That's why this is Gabriel thalamide synthesis is important. Right. Clear everybody how it is happening? Yes, beta, tell me.
सर कभी कभी सर कार्ब आनायन बनता है, कभी कार्बोकेटायन बनता है, उसका रीजन सर बस इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी पे ही है ना, मतलब सपोज दैट रीजन में R माइनस निकलता है, तो वो मेटल है वो.
यहाँ पर कैसे हो रहा है, आप ऐसे से सोचो, हाइड्रोलिसिस हुआ पहले, यहाँ पर OH आया और यहाँ पर OH आया, क्योंकि ये बेसिक मीडियम में है तो एसिड बेस रिएक्शन फिर से हो रहा है और ये CO माइनस बन गया. ओके,
मुझे उसका डाउट समझ में नहीं आया, उसका डाउट क्या था?
What he's saying is some cases we get carb anion, some cases we'll get carb cation. How is it related in terms of electronegativities? So usually when we say carbocation formation, earlier we have seen C double bond O plus, na? वहाँ पे Cl minus था, तो we removed Cl minus and made C double bond O plus. Okay.
Oh yes, I got that.
Now look at this. In case if you have R, that is alkyl thalamide here, N-alkyl thalamide, and you react with hydrazine, this is hydrazine, right? So in case of hydrazine, just like hydrolysis, abhi hydrazine iske saath react kar jayega, and you'll get this as NH and NH as the bond here, and RNH2 will come out of it. Okay, and in case if you take this N minus, और यहीं पर हम लोग react करेंगे, देखो ये Cl is a good leaving group here, and along with that C double bond O, it is also a withdrawing group. तो N minus will attack here, removing chlorine from that point. So we'll get this alkyl part substituted, but this alkyl already has an ester form. और इसको आप hydrolyze करोगे, so this part will undergo hydrolysis to give acid, and again on hydrolysis, this part will also undergo hydrolysis. So we'll get phthalic acid and alpha amino acid. Okay, and this is the method for preparing glycine. So glycine is the alpha amino acid, correct? So the first alpha amino acid, in fact. So that is the glycine form. Okay, so going ahead in biomolecules, we learn about the type of alpha amino acids. One thing you must know about alpha amino acids is that glycine is the only amino acid which does not have a chiral center. Okay, so these two will be hydrogens, while the second amino acid, where instead of hydrogen, if it is CH3, there is a chiral center here, right? So this has no chiral center. So simple objective type question: which amino acid does not have chiral center? Okay. So I hope you understood how glycine is prepared. Now see halobenzenes. Chlorobenzene, if you react directly with ammonia, there is no reaction. But with ammonia, in the presence of cupric oxide, high pressure and high temperature, then it will go via benzene mechanism, because this cupric oxide will make it an amide form, NH2 minus banayega, and that NH2 minus will extract this proton and make a reaction via benzene mechanism, and you'll get aniline form. Okay, otherwise आपको पता ही है benzene कैसे form होता है. See, ammonia CuO, when you react, you'll get this ion here, so with H2O, and this form which is there, NH2 minus, that would act like the base, which will extract the beta hydrogen and removes out this chlorine, and that's how we will get the benzene form. So let me remind you once again, this NH2 will extract this. अगर intermediates लिखना है तो पहले यहाँ पे कार्ब anion बनता है बेटा, minus chlorine here, and this it will relieve this chlorine via making a benzene form, and benzene form, again when you treat with this amide form, you'll get NH2, and on hydrolysis finally you'll get that aniline. Okay, well, this is if you are using ammonia, yeah, but अगर हमने directly amide use किया, sodamide, right, then the reaction is so fast that you can do it even at minus 38 degrees centigrade. ठीक है, तो ये ध्यान रखना, if the temperature is very low, which means you have to directly take amides. Okay, then NaNH2 in liquid ammonia, there we can expect that NH2 minus will extract this proton, makes a benzene form, and this NH2 will attack on either of the sides. Here it is symmetrical. ये unsymmetrical होगा तो कैसे अटैक होता है, ये सब हमने alkyl halide में already पढ़ लिया है. So then once you get this minus charge, it would take away H plus from the ammonia and you'll get aniline form. Here everybody. Next. Now, typically you can be asked a question, making this way, कि यहाँ से start किया आपको question, ठीक है? Suppose, in case if you have NO2 at meta positions and chlorine is the main group you are expecting, उसके बाद आपने अमोनिया से रिएक्ट किया भी, this time reaction will not happen via benzene mechanism, it will go via ArSN2, है ना? ArSN2 का पर्पस क्या था बेटा? For ArSN2 they need to have very strong withdrawing groups at ortho and para position. So for chlorine to relieve, first, if ammonia is a nucleophile, first ammonia will attack on this position, get added up. So this is an addition elimination reaction. Dekho, what is a benzene mechanism? If you all can recall, benzene mechanism is an elimination addition reaction. That is how the substitution is happening. While ArSN2 will always be, addition elimination reaction. So here first the addition happens, ammonia will get added up, and once the ammonia gets added, because of the withdrawing groups, the anion will get stabilized here, and between these two groups it will see that chlorine is a better leaving group, it will relieve that chlorine and you will get this ammonia form. Here, next, If you treat that with CH3NH2, same thing will happen, NHCH3 ये बन जाएगा बेटा। और इसके बाद अमोनियम सल्फाइड से आपने रिएक्ट किया, तो अभी हमने लर्न किया था, पता है कि जो पैरा पोजीशन पे होता है डोनेटिंग के, वो वाला रिड्यूस हो जाएगा। तो देखो ये वाला पार्ट रिड्यूस हो गया ना, ठीक है। देखो कितना अच्छे से सीक्वेंस बन रहा है इसमें। इसको आपने ArSN2 से सब्स्टिट्यूशन किया है। आफ्टर दैट बाय यूजिंग ammonium sulfide we made a para reduction. On the para reduction, NaNO2HCl will give disonium salt. Disonium salt, if you treat that with H3PO2, if you treat that with H3PO2, what will you get? H3PO2 will get oxidized and reduce this part of it, clear, and we'll get this as H3PO3. याद आ रहा है? Correct. So what do we get? This will get reduced as hydrogen here, and we'll get this as, this is the final product we will get. Disonium salt के reactions आपको याद हो जाने चाहिए, okay? Not by mechanism, at least by heart. What are the major reactions that are being done for disonium salts? So we'll get this as the final product. बहुत अच्छा sequence of reaction है, okay? Will N2 gases liberate? Yes, beta. Here N2 gas is liberated in this case. All right. In all the disonium reactions, N2 gas is a byproduct. Right. Next, see this set of reactions. Suppose if you have tertiary alkyl halide with ammonia, the major product you will expect is always alkene. Okay. In case if there is bromine within the group, correct, and ammonia is present, so ammonia as a nucleophile will attack here, removes out bromine, so we'll get aziridine. This is aziridine, correct. Same way, if you have two bromines here, I react it with CH3NH2, so क्या होगा, ये N यहाँ पर अटैक करेगा, ब्रोमीन को हटा देगा पहले, and that once you get that, again the lone pair present on it will attack here, removes bromine, correct. So we will get this 5-membered cyclic form, which is pyrrolidine, right? Remember, just now we have learned that. And if we have OTS on both sides here, correct? OTS is a very good leaving group. So first, this will attack here, removes one OTS, correct? And once you get that, again that NH2 will attack from this end to this end, removes this OTS. So what we are getting is a 6-membered ring, correct? This is a piperidine. So N-phenyl piperidine. So that is the final product form. Okay. So you got an idea like how these common cyclic compounds are also prepared. Here, everybody. Now see. Using NaN3, correct? NaN3 is also a very good nucleophile. In fact, this is a nucleophile by which SN2 reactions are standardized. Okay, क्योंकि ये माना जाता है one of the best nucleophiles, correct, to make reactions even on the tertiary positions. So that's why N3 minus is used as a very standard for SN2 mechanisms. So N3 minus will attack here, removes X, so we'll get this RN3 group. RN3 group को आप अगर आपने लिथियम अल्यूमिनियम हाइड्रेट के साथ रिएक्ट किया, so one N2 will leave, the rest of the nitrogen will get reduced with all of them. So whether it is with lithium aluminum hydride, SBH, or H2 by nickel, reduction is evident, and you will see N2 gas leaving behind amines. So this is using NaN2. Okay, so we have discussed most of the reactions as well as the preparations of preparations of amines in all the cases. Now, the next important concept from this is again based upon GOC, which we already learned, is the basic strength of amines, how we recognize the basic strength of amines. Okay, so to understand the basic strength of amines, correct, we have to take it in two phases, either in gaseous state or a liquid state. In gaseous state or also in aprotic solvent, we will have a similar type of nature. So here we should only consider electronic effects and no other effects to be considered for describing the basic character. So if you look at it, ammonia, primary amine, secondary amine, tertiary amines. Electronic effects are absent in case of amines, ammonia. Here there is one methyl group, so one plus I effect is there. Here there are two of them, here there are three of them. So magnitude is more in case of tertiary amines. So more amount of plus I, more is the ability of nitrogen to donate electrons, hence the basic strength is more, correct? So order of the strength would be 3 degrees up to ammonia. So this is a typical way we can expect in gaseous state. But in case of aqueous state, in aqueous medium, what happens? All the forms of anilines or ammonias, they would take H plus and becomes a conjugate acid. So here we describe the basicity on the basis of stability of conjugate acid. If the conjugate acid is stable, we say the basic strength is more, isn't it? So we can look at this, how we can describe that. Suppose if we take primary amine, correct, RNH2, RNH2 will become this conjugate base, isn't it? RNH3 plus conjugate acid, sorry. And it will have strong hydration at all three directions, because all these are protic hydrogens. यहाँ पे भी delta positive, delta positive, delta positive है. So in water, it will get strong solvation, right? So if it is solvation is done by water, we call it as hydration as well. So here we can see there is only one plus R effect. I mean, one alkyl group which is giving plus I effect. But there are three hydrogen bondings or three solvation effects. In case if you take out the secondary amines, we have two alkyl groups which are giving plus I effect and two hydrogen bondings. While if you see here, there are three alkyl groups and only one hydrogen bonding appearing in 3-degree amines. So both of them are contradicting each other, because stability is increased either by plus I also, it can increase by solvation also. So when plus I is less, solvation is more. When plus I is more, solvation is less, correct? So both of them are contradicting each other for stability. So in such cases, right, you will directly remember this number, okay? Only and only these two, okay? Do not get into trying to remember everything. It's very difficult. Learn it directly. Experimentally, it has been observed 2130 and 2310. Remember these numbers. 2130 as in 2 degree, 1 degree, 3 degree, and ammonia. 2 degree, 3 degree, 1 degree, and ammonia. Okay. So 2130 is when R is methyl group. 2310 if R is ethyl group. Okay. As you go towards propyl, butyl, and so on, usually it will become 3210. Mostly it will become 3210, but it is not very good to comment on it unless we have experimental data. But NCERT has strictly followed only these two to remember and never has been asked anything other than this. So learn it. So if R is alkyl, methyl, and R is ethyl, what is the order in aqueous medium? Anybody has a doubt, please do ask now. Clear, everybody?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. Worst is this one, which I want you to remember. Like as a complete order, if you write of all of these methyl and ethyls together, then, you know, this 2 degree ethyl is always the most, you know, compared to that of 3 degree ethyl, compared to 2 degree methyl, then 1 degree ethyl, then 1 degree methyl, and 3 degree methylamine. And after that comes, you know, PHCH2 NH2, correct? Then comes ammonia and PHNME and PHNME here, and finally aniline, right? These three will have resonance effects, because of which their basicity is very less. And this does not have a resonance effect, but slightly minus effect because of phenyl group, but it is still relatively better as compared to that of ammonia, and this is purely experimental basis. So you can just remember this order at the max. Okay. Right. Coming to the physical properties, amines are fishy order and anilines are aryl amines are colorless, but they get colored on storage due to the atmospheric oxidation. So in case if you have aniline and if you expose it to O2, right, in light. So usually it will get hydroxyaniline. Hydroxy groups, it is more like oxime, right? Any form of oxime will always be colored. Okay. Next, lower aliphatic amines are soluble in water, like up to 1 degree. Up to methyl, ethyl, and propyl. They up to ethyl and methyl, they are soluble. From propyl onwards, they will be slightly less soluble or insoluble. So higher amines, as you go, they are insoluble. And if you see, alcohols have more polarity than amines. This has been asked as a statement in one of the advanced exam. Alcohols are more polar than amines and form stronger hydrogen bonds with amines. Okay. So if you see alcohols and amines, right, then if you have similar molar mass, give more preference to alcohols for boiling points. Okay. So if you see boiling point, 1 degree is better than 2 degree and 3 degree. This is based on intermolecular hydrogen bond. Okay. Now, if you have a similar molar mass compounds like butanol, and then I took, butanamine, and then I took, isobutylamine, secondary butylamine, and then this is 2 degree, then 3 degree, and finally alkane, right? So if you take all of these, which are comparable molar masses, then alcohols will have the higher boiling point. Okay, this is asked in JEE mains once, not all of them. He has asked like, alcohol, uh, amines with alkanes of a similar molar mass has been asked. So you should get an idea like what should be the boiling point there. Okay. Now coming to the reactions of amines. Reactions of amines are mostly acid-base reactions, correct, or nucleophilic reactions. First, reactions with acids. RNH2 in the presence of H plus will form a salt here. Aniline in the presence of H plus will also form anilinium salt here. So amine salt reacts with base like NaOH, regenerates the parent amine, which means if you take this salt in the presence of NaOH, correct? So this will become RNH2 again, and this will become NaX, releasing H2O. Okay, and this is a very important basis for separation. Okay, so please learn it. In case if you have ammonium salt and you add NaOH, it will regenerate the amines. And if you have a bigger alkyl amines, right, like if you have aniline or any pentanamine or anything bigger than that, usually they are insoluble in water, but they are more soluble in ether medium or an uh, inorganic or an organic medium. Okay, so see, amine salts are soluble in water and they are usually insoluble in organic solvents, and this becomes a very important basis for separation of amines when you have a non-basic organic compounds which is insoluble in water. Okay, so for example, if you take these two, correct, aniline and toluene, and add it to ether, both of them are soluble. Both of them are soluble. But if I add aqueous HCl after that, you know that there are two layers forming now. There is an aqueous layer forming and there is an organic layer forming. In the aqueous layer, because HCl will form a salt with ammonium, with aniline, it will get dissolved in this aqueous solution, while toluene does not get dissolved, so it will appear in the organic layer, correct? And now you have once it is been done based upon density, you can separate out the organic layer and you can separate out the aqueous layer. Now once that is been done, correct, so you will add NaOH to this, correct, you will add NaOH to, imagine I have removed organic layer from here. After removing organic layer, what is left out, beta? Only aqueous layer is left. So in that aqueous layer, if you add NaOH, now what would happen? NaOH will make this as NaCl and H2O and releasing the ammonia form. And since this aniline is insoluble in water, now again add ether. So whatever the aniline which is present in aqueous form, that will slowly travel into the organic layer and comes out in organic layer. So remove this organic layer. Now what we have done? We have separated both of them. Has this sequence been clear, everybody? And this is the basis for all the types of separations of amines. Clear? Right. Next, see, acylation. Acylation of amines gives amides. So which means if you take R, NH2, C double bond O, R here, so this ammonia will attack on C double bond O, releases Cl, and what we get is an R substituted amide, right? The same logic for anhydride also, same logic for esters also. Next, one hydrogen of amine is replaced by acyl here, correct? So if you see this one, this hydrogen and chlorine is replaced, you will get acetanilide and HCl will be neutralized by pyridine. Next, aniline, if you treat with Br2 and CS2, no matter how slow, how little the temperature is, even if you keep the temperature at 0 degrees centigrade, or even if you put it at normal temperature with, H2O, bromine water, in both the cases, aniline is so reactive that it will give 2,4,6 tribromoaniline, okay, and which is a white color precipitate. Just to remind you why this is important is if you do the same thing with phenols in bromine and CS2 at low temperature, we will only get mono substitutions. We'll get ortho and para. Only in the bromine water, it would give you that tribromophenol form, which is also a white precipitate. So differentiating factor in phenol and aniline is that aniline is relatively more reactive for electrophilic aromatic substitution to give this white precipitate even in the non-polar solvent. While here, it is only in the polar solvent you'll get this tri-substitution. I hope all of you are able to recall this. Same thing I have put it in phenols chapter also, if you recall. Now, to get mono substituted, suppose if I need only mono substituted bromine, so what we do, first we will make an acetylation. So ammonia will undergo acetylation, you will get acetanilide, and this acetanilide, when you treat with bromine water here, correct, Br2 and NaOH or bromine water, anything will be fine. So now this is not very strongly activating, right? So this is an amide group, and amide group will have a split resonance. It will make a resonance here and here as well. Due to split resonance, it is not highly activated, and ortho is anyway crowded because of these groups. So usually it will give para as the major product, bromine will come here, that will be major product. And when you are using it in NaOH, this group will come out, CH3CO minus, and you'll get NH2 here, right? So this is the major product, that is mono substitution. Okay. Amines react with benzoyl chloride also, like here ammonia, aniline will attack here, removing Cl, and we will get this as amine methyl substituted, benzenamide. So this is methyl substituted benzenamide. Okay. Now, chemical reactions are morely tests when it comes to anilines beta. Okay, we learn it as test. The first test we learn is carbylamine test, okay, which is also known as the isocyanate test. So what happens if you take whether alkyl amine or aryl amine, but both should be 1 degree amines, and they on heating with chloroform and ethanolic KOH, isocyanates are formed, and isocyanates are usually foul smelling gas. So that is an indication that there is a presence of primary amine. So you can see if you take 1 degree amine, treat with CHCl3 with 3 moles of KOH, we'll get isocyanate with 3 moles of KCl and 3 moles of H2O. 2 degree, 3 degree does not respond to this reaction, and this is used for the test of 1 degree amine, right? So honestly, we do not require the mechanism for it, but I'll just brief you around once, see how exactly it is being done. So check this. Suppose if you take CH3Cl, chloroform in KOH, chloroform in KOH is pretty much like acid base reaction. So OH minus from here, H plus from here will release H2O, and we'll have CCl3 minus, and CCl3 minus, because of the chlorine crowding, it is unstable. So there is an E1CB type of mechanism. So there is a push of chlorine away from negative charge on carbon. because of which it will become dichlorocarbene, DCC. And DCC will have an empty orbital here, which will act like the electrophile. So the lone pair present on this ammonia will attack on the empty orbitals of CCl2. As it attacks, you will get this as nitrogen will have positive charge, correct? So as soon as it positive charge, there is an intramolecular hydrogen transfer, IMPT, and that will give us CH here, NH. And again, there are good leaving groups here. So nitrogen lone pair will push it to remove out chlorine. Again, nitrogen is getting a positive charge on it. And since it is in a basic medium, OH minus will take away this H plus and you'll get N double bond CHCl. Again, lone pair present on nitrogen will support as a triple bond to remove chlorine. So we will have RN triple bond CH. And since it is in basic medium, OH minus will take H plus and we will get isocyanate formation. Okay. Please do not worry if you don't understand much of the mechanism. The idea should be very clear that only 1 degree amines will give this reaction. Here, everybody. Next. So the same logic applies to even anilines. So aniline with chloroform KOH will give you isocyanate, phenyl isocyanate. The next test, that is Hinsberg test. Correct. This is called Hinsberg test. See, in Hinsberg test, this is a test for 1 degree, 2 degree, and 3 degree amines. Okay. For that, we can take two things. Either we can take benzene sulforyl chloride, or you can take tosyl chloride. Tosyl is nothing but toluene sulfuryl chloride, right? So this is like toluene plus sulfonyl chloride, or here it is benzene sulfuryl chloride. Okay. Both will work the same thing. So what is the test here now? So you take any form of amine, you are not aware like which amine it is. Imagine if it is 1 degree, what should happen? If it is 1 degree with tosyl chloride, it will react and gives a clear solution. And that clear solution, when you react with HCl, correct, will form a white color precipitate. And again, when you add that to NaOH, again, it will become a clear solution. If that happens, it is 1 degree amine. Correct. I'll show you the reaction also, how it happens. First, let us understand the steps. The first step is you take TSCl in basic medium. It will form a clear solution. Again, add it to HCl. It will become a white precipitate. Add it to NaOH. Again, it becomes clear solution. It is 1 degree. Okay. If you added TSCl and KOH with amine and you're directly getting a white precipitate, then it is a secondary amine. And further, there is no other reaction we can do. While if you take tertiary amine, on adding, there is always a clear solution and further there is no reaction happening. Then that is 3 degree amine. So let us see how it is happening. If it is 1 degree, so you can see 1 degree amine with tosyl chloride, correct? So first we will get the lone pair attacks on tosyl form, removes chlorine here. So we will get N double bond O here with its entire group. Okay. And in basic medium, you can see in basic medium what happens, because I'm taking with KOH, right? We are always taking with KOH. In KOH, because there is an H present here, that OH minus will take away this H plus and makes a salt, and salt is soluble in water, I mean aqueous form. So you can see this becomes immediately soluble. So 1 degree journey starts from here, it will go here, but it won't stay here for more because you are using KOH or NaOH, so it will become a salt form. Now in the salt form, if you add aqueous HCl, then this precipitate will form again. Clear? I hope all of you understood that. Correct. So if this precipitate is again added with NaOH, again you will get soluble form. So you got a loop here. So you can clearly make out that first from 1 degree, you'll get a soluble form, and from soluble form, you'll get a precipitate form. So then that is a 1 degree amine. See the second degree amine. Second degree amine, we took TSCl with aqueous KOH. Once initially, whatever the white precipitate has formed, aqueous KOH is making no use of it. because this nitrogen does not have any hydrogen present on it or proton present on it. So since there is no acidic hydrogen, it will stay it as an aqueous solution only. So even if you add HCl, it does not make any difference now. So that is always a precipitate is present. So that is second degree. So this is 2 degree amine. And 3 degree amine, if you look at it, TSCl, with TSCl, it will form something like a salt form, because the lone pair on nitrogen will attack here and it will have plus charge here with Cl minus. So it is like a salt form which is soluble, correct? And if you add it to NaOH, there is no reaction that is happening here. Got it? Hence, once it is an unstable solution, so we will have both of them in a solution form only and there is no precipitate forming, then that is a 3 degree amine. Okay, we can use this method also for separation. Okay, this is for detection, right? 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, we are detecting it. We can use the same logic for separation also. So imagine how we can separate 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree I use tosyl chloride. ठीक है, अगर ये precipitate बन गया और precipitate में रुक गया, tosyl chloride with NaOH, right? Tosyl chloride with NaOH. Then अगर वो precipitate की तरह रुक गया, so then it has to be 2 degree, correct? अगर मैंने इसको if I do not add NaOH, suppose if I didn't add NaOH here, then what does it happen? The 1 degree and 2 degree both will undergo precipitation. But 3 degree, since it is forming just like a salt directly, it can be in a form of filtrate. So first we'll eliminate that. So the filtrate part, that is 3 degree part, we have eliminated and precipitate को हमने अलग कर दिया. अब यही precipitate में हमने KOH add कर दिया. ठीक है? On adding KOH, we know that 1 degree will get dissolved, right? So 1 degree as a filtrate आ जाएगा, and 2 degree will remain as a precipitate, which is residue. And in that residue, if you again add concentrated HCl, correct? So we can separate both of them again to make R2NH. We'll get this as R2NH and TSCl, correct? And if you add this to ether, I mean, because this is in aqueous solution form now, R2 ether. So in the ether layer, you will get secondary amine. And in this 1 degree filtrate which we have, I treated with concentrated HCl. So again, I got a precipitate form and added to ether. So again, ammonia will, primary amine will come to the ethereal layer. Okay. So this is a method for separation as well. Please let me know if you have any problem here, everybody. Hinsberg as only test like what it does is asked in JEE Mains. In advance, you might be asked which separation, what will happen, because this came as a paragraph once in 2007, I guess. Okay, a complete paragraph was asked, like which is A, which is B, which is C in all of this, which is primary, secondary, or 3 degree amine. Here, everybody. Right.
So,
हाँ बेटा.
सर वो ये प्रेसिपिटेट है ना 2 डिग्री में.
2 डिग्री में पहले से ही प्रेसिपिटेट है, बराबर.
सर तो प्रेसिपिटेट को ऐसे क्यों नहीं निकाल देते, मतलब मुझे थोड़ा समझा नहीं.
प्रेसिपिटेट को
सर प्रेसिपिटेट को मतलब ऊपर का लिक्विड बाहर निकाल के डिकैंट क्यों नहीं कर देते?
लेकिन प्रेसिपिटेट अमाइन थोड़ी है, प्रेसिपिटेट ये है ना, सॉल्ट है ना ये वाला.
अच्छा, उसको भी सेपरेट,
उसको सेपरेट करके फिर अमाइन को बाहर लेके आना ना.
ओके,
ठीक है.
यस.
नेक्स्ट, द नेक्स्ट टेस्ट इज विद HNO2. HNO2 JEE मेन के सिलेबस में नहीं है, सो रिमेंबर ओनली फॉर एडवांस्ड. So only for advanced. Now reaction with HNO2. If you take 1 degree, react with NaNO2, you will get, diazonium salt, and alkyl diazonium salts are highly unstable. And so immediately it will form carbocation, and the major product will always be alcohol releasing N2. ये तो हमने पढ़ा है already. So N2 gas is a confirmation for 1 degree amines. अगर N2 gas release हो रहा है, right? So we collect that gas, and if it is N2, then it is a confirmation कि इसमें ये 1 degree amine होगा. But in case if it is a second degree amine and we use NaNO2, so this the lone pair on nitrogen attacks to NO, so you will get R2N N double bond O. ठीक है, so इस तरह से बन रहा है बेटा. The lone pair present on nitrogen will attack on this nucleophile NO, so it will become, थोड़ा अच्छे से लिखता हूँ. So we'll have this as R and R with plus charge on nitrogen. ठीक है. So because it is in acidic medium, remove this H plus, so you'll get R N N double bond O, and it is resonance stabilized. You can see ये lone pair यहाँ पर जाएगा, ये O minus बनेगा. ठीक है. So since it is resonance stabilized, correct, and have high dipole moment also, है ना. It is like यहाँ पर काफी ज्यादा delta positive और यहाँ पर काफी ज्यादा delta negative है. So there is a strong dipole moment. Because of this strong dipole moment, molecules will be very close to each other because they strongly attract each other. Hence, it will look like a yellow oily pigmentation or yellow oil liquid. Clear? That is second degree amine. So thick liquid जैसा बन रहा है yellow color, that is secondary amine. Now third, 3 degrees. 3 degree amine है तो कोई gas release नहीं हो रहा है. So it will react with NaNO2 and it will form this complex, that is Na plus and Cl minus. And because it is in a salt form, if you add it to water, it get dissolved. Correct? So it will get dissolved. That confirms the 3 degree amine. So the reaction is clear, everybody. Diazonium से कैसे होता है? Next. This is just to recall you once again, like what are the reactions of diazonium salts. In case if it is benzene diazonium salt. So if you have benzene diazonium salt, BDC, and BDC is also stable only when it is less than 5 degrees centigrade. On hydrolysis, usually we take warm water. So we will get this as phenols. In case of NaBH4 and HBF4, what do we call this? Okay, Boltzmann reaction. Boltzmann reaction, which will give fluorobenzene. Next, if you react it with Ki, directly we'll get iodine here, so iodobenzene. If you treat with Cl minus, correct? So directly Cl minus को हम लोग use नहीं करते हैं. Rather, we will use this as CuCN, है ना? Use this as CuCN. CuCl. So we use this as CuCl. In case of CuCl, what do we get? We'll get chlorobenzene, and this is called Sandmeyer's reaction. Sandmeyer's reaction. Correct. And hydrolysis मैंने already लिख दिया है. So H3PO2 in this case, then you'll get benzene plus H3PO3. So these are the reactions which you are typically expected to learn. Yeah. Next, the question that could be asked in JEE Advanced would be like, find the number of products if it is, diazonium salt in an alkyl form. So you can see if N2 is forming here, correct? यहाँ से N2 तो रिलीज हो जाएगा और कार्बोकैटायन बनेगा. देखो यहाँ पे कार्बोकैटायन बना तो यहाँ पे एक कार्बोकैटायन आ जाएगा, राइट? और ये कार्बोकैटायन रीअरेंज होके यहाँ पर भी आ जाएगा, सेकेंड डिग्री भी बन जाएगा. So we can get these many products. First, you can see we can get in, because it is in water, you can get an alcohol here because यहाँ पर directly water attack करेगा. There is certain amount of chloride present, so chlorine would come, and positive charge is here. It can lose H plus here and make a alkene. NO2 minus is also present, so it will become O and double bond O. Okay, nitrito, so it can form nitrito, alkyl nitrite. So these four can be formed again with the same positive charge on the secondary position. Okay, this four can be formed. Well, this is repetitive, so I'm not writing it here. Correct. Now, other than that, now what are the other forms we can expect? This alcohol can again attack here. Correct. This alcohol can again attack here and can give ether. And this alcohol can also react with this secondary alcohol to give this one, or secondary and secondary can react with each other to give this ether. So there are three distinct ethers we can get. One, this is two, and this is three. These are three distinct ethers we can get. Okay, so three ethers and two alcohol kinds, two alkyl halides, two nitro groups, and one alkene. These are the total type of groups of products you can get. Okay, so almost 9 products are what you are expected to form here. I hope all of you understood that. Now see this case. This directly you have to memorize percentage के साथ. NCERT में ऐसे ही दिया है और ऐसे ही पूछा है JEE में भी. In case if we have cyclopropyl amine on treatment with NaNO2, that is diazonium salt, we'll get alcohol. We learned this in preparation of phenols. Sorry, preparation of alcohols. First carbocation is formed here, alcohol can form directly here, or it can undergo rearrangement and give cyclopropyl methyl carbocation, because cyclopropyl methyl carbocation is highly stable. So this is CPM carbocation. And on CPM carbocation, again alcohol will attack, you will get 48%. And CPM carbocation will also give dancing resonance this way, correct? Positive charge here, or we can have double bond with positive charge here. These are the resonating structures. So some part of this resonating form will also be coming as alcohols. So this percentage you would better remember, 47, 48 and 5%. हाँ, एक बार क्वेश्चन में पूछा था what is major, also although this is just 1% more, write this as the major product. Clear? ये डिस्कशन हमने पहले भी किया था alcohols में. Remember that? Next, if it is aniline, okay, so we'll get diazonium salt formation. Diazonium salt के आगे reactions क्या होगा आपको पता है. If it is secondary amine, we learned that it will form a yellow pigmentation. So this is that yellow oily pigmentation. Okay, if it is tertiary amine, you know, this is important. In case if it is tertiary amine, right, we have a nucleophile, we have an electrophile N double bond O plus. So anyways, there is no reaction here which is making a stable compound. Hence, it will go for an ES mechanism. So electrophilic aromatic substitution will take place and nitro group will be substituted at para position. Clear, everybody? So that is what is expected in tertiary aniline groups. Yeah. Hoffman exhaust to elimination, I'm leaving it here because you already know that. Now coming to Cope's elimination, just recall when you have tertiary amines, right? So suppose अगर मेरे पास ऐसा कोई amine है, tertiary amine, nitrogen with, let's say this kind of amine is there, tertiary amine. Tertiary amine in the presence of peroxide, correct? We have seen it will oxidize this amine to form minus and plus H2O, right? This is how we get. So what we have is the 3-degree amine oxide. So पहले हम लोग बनाएंगे 3-degree amine oxide. So 3-degree amine oxides on heating strongly will give us Hoffman elimination product. So this is called as Cope's elimination or EI mechanism, right? So EI as in syn elimination. I matlab syn type of elimination is observed. So if you recall that, suppose if this is the case given here, correct? So you know that here removing hydrogen will get a double bond formation. Here also you can get, but the major product would be on this side, correct? And this is the product forming by elimination. So I'm not going through the mechanism fully, but just let you know that how the structure looks like. Okay, it is this way. If you recall, हमने ये पहले किया था. So we will have, you know, a sawhorse projection this way for nitrogen, for this, and then nitrogen, correct? So for nitrogen, we have methyl CH2 here, methyl CH2 here with CH and H and phenyl group. This is how we have, correct? Sorry. nitrogen with O minus, nitrogen with O minus here, and with methyl and ethyl group here, correct? And same way we will keep hydrogen here and phenyl here and one more hydrogen here. This is how we have the groups. So now what we can see, this O minus will take away this H plus, this will make a double bond formation, correct? This will make a double bond formation, and not here. I forgot one more CH2 group here. 1 second. CH2 here, CH2 here, and CHPH and H here, CHH here, correct? So as soon as we get that, alpha is eliminated. यहाँ पर था ना CH3, mistake. CH2 and phenyl is on this side, sorry. So pH and this is CH and H. This is how it is. Yeah, now it's fine. So we have this group here. Now this O minus is extracting this proton. It makes a double bond and the bond will break on this side. Okay. Look at that. That is the Sawhorse projection. So basically in Sawhorse, these two hydrogens are present here in this form. So H and H. Okay. So we will get this as a double bond formation here. So this is the product formation. Now, apart of that, one more test, again, this is only for advanced, known as the mustard oil test or Hoffman test, correct? So what are these? Sorry, a Hoffman test is different. First, let us discuss mustard oil test. Mustard oil test is only for 1 degree amines. So if you take 1 degree amine, treat with CS2 in the presence of HgCl2. Basically, HGS is a very, very stable molecule and the Kp value is very low for it. So that's why what happens, our NH2, as we attack towards carbon here, one of the sulfide, this sulfide will leave eventually to make it as NC double bond C double bond S, and that would come out as H2S. That H2S in the presence of HgCl2 will become HGS black precipitate, and this this isocyanate, thioisocyanate, which is forming, correct? This will be oily and it smells like a mustard oil. So this is the prediction for 1 degree amines as well. Here, everybody, mustard oil test, simply remember it will have a mustard oil like test, if a mustard oil like smell, if you treat that with HgCl2 and CS2. Next, azo dye test. Azo dye test is a coupling reaction of beta naphthol, how the beta naphthol will make a reaction here. So that would give us a red color dye, correct? I will show you at the end how the coupling reactions is. As of now, just I've written the reaction here. So I'll show you at the end, because that for that we just need to brush up aniline reactions. Now see, aniline reactions, let us recall once again, these are all repetitive reactions. Aniline, if you treat with concentrated H2SO4 and concentrated HNO3, we will get only 2% of ortho, 47% of meta, and 51% of para. Now, why this is happening? See, NH3 will take H plus and become some part of anilinium ion, correct? Because it is a weak base, it will take H plus and definitely have some amount of meta, definitely have some amount of anilinium form. And anilinium is a withdrawing group. Since it is a withdrawing group, it will allow for meta substitution. Hence, this group will give meta substitution, while NH2 will give ortho and para substitution. So there is sufficient amount of NH2 present and there is slight amount of meta present. And this NH2 When you treat with NO2 plus, it will form nitro, orthonitro aniline or paranitro aniline. See, what has been found that the uh, energy difference between orthonitrophenol and paranitrophenol is pretty less in terms of the intermediate which is forming. So whatever the intermediate which is forming in this, the intermediate which is forming during the mechanism, the energy difference is pretty less. And if you see thermodynamically, para is always para is always more stable. Hence, whatever the orthonitrophenol is, it can again take this equilibrium route and try to convert most of it into para product. Correct? That's why eventually after the reaction is seen, because whenever you use concentrated form na beta, there is sufficient heat, okay, which will make this kinetically favored product into more thermodynamically favored product, and the major product will only be para and ortho product is avoided. Clear? And slowly here meta will start reacting, so the reaction also will slightly shift into the forward direction as the product is forming based on Le-Chatelier's principle. So this amount will also start increasing, because of which you will see sufficient amount of meta product form. Okay. So ortho will be almost dried out while para and meta will be maximum. Clear everybody? This is about nitration. In case if you just want a para product and try to remove that meta product out of it, then what we can do? We do acetylation and we'll get acetanilide. And once you get acetanilide, now you use concentrated HNO3. So we will get nitro group here. And once you get nitro group here and you do basic hydrolysis, you get NH2 back. So you'll get only para product. Okay. Next, sulfonation. Aniline, if you treat with concentrated H2SO4, first it will form an acid-base reaction. Aniline is slightly basic. H2SO4 is acidic, so it will make an acid-base reaction and makes a salt. That on heating will give anilinium ion, and anilinium ion. Now HSO3 minus, which is out of this SO3 which is formed, will act like an electrophile, where from the para position it will attack to give sufficient amount of SO3 minus here. Correct? And this is not an anilinium ion initially. It would form something like this on heating. On heating, you can expect this kind of a formation, like we have NH2 and sufficient SO3 present. Sufficient SO3 present here. So this will go for a para substitution. And on para substitution, you will get this. And once you have, because it is in acidic medium, you will have SO3H, isn't it? So we will have this as NH2 with SO3H formation. And you can see within the molecule, this is an acidic site, this is a basic site. See beta, within a molecule, if there is an acidic site and a basic site, there is always a movement of hydrogen, movement of proton there. So you can see this hydrogen will be going towards this and makes like a salt formation here. So within the molecule will have positive and negative charge also. Such type of a molecules are called Zwitter ions. So this is called sulfonalic acid, and sulfonalic acid exists like a Zwitter ion. Clear everybody? So you can see how SO3 is forming. NH3 plus SHO4 minus, on heating you will get this as OH minus and SO3 formation. Clear everybody? Next, Friedel-Crafts reaction. If aniline is treated with CH3Cl and AlCl3, correct? Instead of making it as an electrophilic aromatic substitution, the lone pair directly attacks for AlCl3 because it makes an acid-base reaction. This will act like a Lewis acid and aniline will act like a Lewis base, makes like a salt form, which is a strongly withdrawing group. And once you have a strongly deactivating group, the reaction will cease here itself. Hence, we usually, that's why we say that aniline compounds will not show Friedel-Crafts reactions, correct? That's why instead of using AlCl3, we usually go for pyridine, especially for acylation. So for acylation, if you look at it, so in the presence of pyridine now, what would happen? Even if you have CH3 plus here, the lone pair will attack here, or even if it is not there, you can directly attack here. I told you already, Cl minus can be removed, correct? And you can get this acetanilide. Okay. So I've just shown you how the deactivating group is being made here. Okay, diazonium salts, we have discussed that already. Yeah, right. This is the important area, last one, which is the diazocoupling area. Diazocoupling is done with either phenols or anilines, right? So if you take phenol or aniline and treat that with diazonium salt, okay, diazonium salt is PNH2 plus, correct? Then this diazonium salt will act like an electrophile, and at the para position, you will see substitution will happen. So we'll get N double bond N and pH. And this compound are called diazo compounds. Okay. Although OCH3 is donating, it is not as strongly activating as OH and NH2. Hence, with diazonium salt, we'll have a very, very weak, we'll have a very less yield, or we can say no reaction at all. Okay. So if you were asked between these three, which is a strongly donating group, then it is NH2, then OH, then OCH3. Okay. And we can make this diazonium salt, which is present, right, PHN2 plus, as a very strong electrophile by putting lot of nitro groups. So if the reactivity is to be checked, like only simple aniline group, simple diazonium group, or with para-nitro, with ortho-para-nitro and two orthos and para-nitros, then this will be highly reactive. In fact, how much reactivity is to tell you, if at all I take mesitylene, this is mesitylene, although they are donating groups, right, from different areas here, and they are not strong donating, still this reaction will take place, which means from here it will attack as an for an electrophile formation, and you will get this product. Clear? This is one way to remember first remember, then we'll discuss the mechanism. In case if your reactant is beta naphthol, remember how does the beta naphthol looks like? So this is naphthalene, and this is the alpha position, and the next one is the beta position. So this is beta naphthol. In case if you take beta naphthol and react with diazonium salt, then we will get red color. If it is phenol, we will get orange color. If it is aniline, we'll get yellow color. Got it? So remember it this way: BDA, BPA, and ROI. Okay. So BPA, that is beta naphthol, phenol, or aniline, red color, orange color, or yellow color. Clear, beta? This is for the objective questions. Remember it directly. Which on diazonium salts, which will be the what color? Now coming to phenols. If phenols are treated with diazonium salt, correct? First thing, we require slightly basic nature. Okay, it should be slightly basic. If it is more basic, imagine if it is more basic, or if it is more, pH is more than 10, correct? Then this aniline will directly react with the base and becomes diazotic acid. So we want to avoid stronger basic medium. If you have more acidic nature, correct? Suppose if you take in acidic nature, there is a chance that phenol might undergo, because it will also have a lone pair, that will take H plus and gets deactivated. So we can't go for more acidic, but it will always, and you know that phenols will always favor in more basic character, because it will make it more activating. Because if you take phenol and treat it with OH minus, which is slightly acidic, then we will have phenoxide ion, right? And phenoxide ion is, that phenoxide ion is highly activating. So to keep it phenol more activated, we would rather use basic solution rather than acidic solution. तो ये JEE का बहुत important question है. What is the pH that you have to maintain when you are making phenol to react with diazonium salt? So we should maintain around 8 to 10. Clear everybody? Right. ये भी important है कि अगर आपने strongly basic रखा तो क्या होगा? So it will become diazotic acid. And coupling, because usually if you compare ortho and para, At para, the resonance will be more straight. I mean, it will have a more straight resonance. So the product formation is always seen more on para than ortho. Okay. Now see with aniline. With aniline, what is happening? We take aniline, react with diazonium salt. The pH this time would be between 5 to 6, which means slightly acidic. It should be slightly acidic. This is already a basic group. So we don't want to write, we don't want to drive again a basic solution into it. So we want to keep it slightly acidic medium. So in slightly acidic medium, the mechanism is little different here. You can see first, the lone pair is attacking on this nitrogen. Okay. As soon as the attack happens, this is a triple bond which is present. So that bond will move on to nitrogen here. Correct. So we will get this product here first. And in acidic medium, you can see the lone pair present on here will take away this H plus, and we will get this NH2 plus with N double bond N pH. Okay. Now, once you have it here, on adding excess amount of aniline now, on this, if you add aniline, correct? So what would happen? This part, N double bond N, right, with this phenyl, this phenyl and aniline part which is present here, correct? This entire part will be replaced here. So I would show it this way. Yeah, this entire part is getting replaced here because this aniline from para position will attack here, remove this group, correct? So we will get this as PNH double bond phenyl with NH2 group. Okay. Now that is how we will get the diazonium salt formation in this case. Okay. So acidic medium is slightly helping this to remove the group. Is removing the group so that the next molecule will attack with a stronger, with a better product formation. That's it. Suppose if we have aniline present with NR2 here, if there is an alkyl substitution and diazotation has to be done, right? So first at the para position, it will attack. You'll get this group here, correct? And then here it will take away this H plus and retain the aromaticity to get this product formation. So for this, reaction has to be more base catalyzed rather than acid catalyzed mechanism. So if the question is given with dialkyl aniline to make a diazotization, which is a better reaction, which is a better medium here, in that case basic medium is better. Clear, everybody? Now look at this. How many of the following given dyes will give dyes when we treat with anilinium diazonium salt? So which of them will give? Any strongly donating groups will only give, right? Neither this will give, this will give, NR2 will give, OMe does not give, OET does not give, naphthalene does not give, correct? Then ortho, alpha or beta will give us, correct? And then we have, if you look at it, mesitylene. Mesitylene does not give in this case unless it is having strong withdrawing groups. Toluene will not give this. So these are the products. For simple question that can be asked is this. Everybody understood that? Yeah. Lastly, I will just mention Hoffman's method. I forgot to mention that. Although it's not specifically asked, in JEE, Hoffman's method for detecting 1 degree, 2 degree, and 3 degree amines. Okay. So if it is 1 degree amine, RNH2, right, then you treat this with, ethyl oxalate. Okay. So it is diethyl oxalate. Diethyl oxalate. On treatment of this, esters, we have learned it that lone pair on nitrogen will attack and removes that ET group, OET group, and makes an amide form. So we can see C double bond O, or C double bond O, NHR will form here, and C double bond O, NHR will form here, right? Now the product formation, this amide is actually a white color solid. So it is a white solid formation. Okay. If it is second degree amine, R2NH, and you again treat with diazonium salt here, I mean, sorry, if you treat with this diethyl oxalate here, right? Just make sure that heat is being done so that ethanol will remove out. So only one side is being attached because of the crowding. So we'll have C double bond O, OET remaining this way. So it does not make amide formation on both the cases. So this will be thick liquid. This will be thick liquid form, correct? If it is tertiary amine, R3N plus this ethyl oxalate, right? Then it has been identified, there is no reaction happening, right? So it will remain the same solution. So there is no thickness which will come into the solution. Hence, we can predict that this is 3 degree amine. Any doubt here?
No,
Everybody
sir.
understood that? Yeah. From amine's point of view, this is what you need to learn better. Okay. I'll put few questions for you. Okay, just go through them once, and try this out. I'll just show you in 2 minutes. Just check it out. This I have seen in various sources, and I found very much relevant to JEE. So you can see first with concentrated, HNO3 in the presence of concentrated H2SO4. Correct? We get A, and that reaction with B, we will get aniline and H2. And that if you treat with Br2 and H2O, you will get C, which on treatment with NaNO2 and HCl, you will get D, which on reaction with H3PO2 will give us E. So find A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Second, if you start with calcium, you react with coke. कैल्शियम और कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड भी ले सकते हो आप, दोनों से ही सेम प्रोडक्ट मिलता है. A, that on hydrolysis will give us B. You pass this to RHCT, we'll get C. Okay, red hot copper tube, and then we'll do HNO3 and concentrated. Sorry, this has to be concentrated and heat. Right. So we are getting D, and that on reaction with concentrated HNO3 and concentrated H2SO4, then we are getting E, and that on reaction with ammonium hydrogen sulfide, we are getting F, and that on treatment with HNO2, we are getting G, and that G, when you treatment with H2, we are getting H, and this H, when you treat with SN in HCl, we are getting I, and this I on further treatment with NaNO2 with HCl, we are getting J, and we are using CuCN to get K, and that K on hydrolysis, we are getting L. This on reaction with calcium hydroxide, we are getting M on heating. Okay. So find out A to M, what are the products formation. Okay. Next, the third one, I'll give you one more. Benzene, if we treat that with N2O5 and heat, so we'll get product A, which on reaction with Cl2 and Fe will get product B, which on treatment with Fe and HCl will get product C, and this with NaNO2 and HCl will give you D, and that with CuBr and HBr will get out E. So find A to E. So I hope you got an idea like ये chapter क्या demand करता है ना? This chapter is more about consolidation of all those reactions. Yes, Athar, very good. So that's pretty much the correct answer for the first one, right? So you could do the same thing, beta. एक बार practice करो. This 1, 2, 3. That will give you an overall idea about the reactions here, right? Right. Okay, एक और एक लिखता हूँ बेटा, क्योंकि ये पूछा गया, अभी recently पूछा गया, 2019 में ही पूछा है. So just learn this. So NH2, right, with SO3H is present, and with A, you're making it as diazonium salt N2Cl with SO3H. With CuCN, we are getting B with H3O plus, one equivalent, it is giving C, and on heating, we are getting this product, double bond O, S, double bond O, double bond O with nitrogen and H. करेक्ट. ये इसलिए इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि ये रिएक्शन सीधा सीधा हमको this will take you to directly chemistry in everyday life. Okay, so it's a reaction from chemistry in everyday life where we are preparing saccharin. Correct. So use this. So learn these 4 reactions. It will give a very much consolidation of this chapter. Here, everybody, any doubts you guys can ask me now.